Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic, and this is another reaction to the Monogatari series. It is Kizumonogatari, the third movie, the second half of it, and you know what to do as always. If you want to see my reaction, just go down into my descriptions, follow the links, replace the circumflex.pulse with real dots, and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear me out about this movie. So, see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back. Now, I mean, what to say? This is an interesting ending, and the second half of the movie was, for me, cut into two major parts. I mean, you could say into three parts. One is the very problematic scene between Aragi and Hanekawa, in the meaning problematic that you cannot put stuff like that anywhere. I mean, that is very close to porn, what we just saw there. A lot of, well, questionable things. And the second part is the fight in general, and the third part is kind of the revelation, what it is about, and how it was in the end more or neither solved. So let's go through it one by one. So we had this starting very funny discussion between Koyomi and Hanekawa, and the fact that he made up the idea that he needs to touch her to be sure he gets not distracted by the outer appearance of Kiss Shot. Which is a pretty clever lie. I mean, that was pretty clever and I liked it so far. She went in for it, and even if stuff would have happened, all of that was kind of okay. You know, it's the playing with fire thing. However, they stretched it a bit too much for me. It was, you know, it's not like 30 seconds or anything. It went for minutes, and then he even went further in this sadistic way of teasing her, and they even played with that it is kind of very sexual tension that is happening there, no question. And they even had orgasmic or something like that written down. So like they like it even culminated that just by his words and by the imagination, they kind of had intercourse there. That is something you can do in the bedroom or wherever you like it with your partner. However, it was a bit surprising here, and for me, a bit too much, because I don't expected something like that in this movie or in this series. Although we had in the past situations of tensions of that kind, but they would never go so far, and it was just, you know, too much, and in my opinion, in many levels, not necessary. It, however, sets the tone that those two clearly kind of needed to get it going somewhere. The ending of it, that he kind of, well, he chickened out, no question there, that he kind of promised we have another year, and it's a bit like a promise we will continue where we just ended. Is a bit bittersweet, because we know they will not. We know that Senjugahara came along and he has his times with her. Sure, there's still the option somewhere in the future there might be a relationship forming between him and Hanekawa, but how should that work out while Senjugahara is there? And if not, she clearly stated she would kill him. I mean, we had that already. So it's a bit strange and bittersweet. It makes sense that he chickened out, however. I mean, we know that he was a loner before. So he very likely had not very much, close to none, experiences with women. So what he did there was kind of the game with the doctor, you know, doctoring with each other, exploring your sexuality. That's what they kind of did there. So this, how far would I go? How far would you let me go? How far am I really willing to? How much do I say? And how much I really want to and am willing to do? So she, as it seems, would have been, although stating like not, you know, just by what she says, she acts as though she wouldn't do it, but she would be willing to go further than he is willing to go. He is saying he would go further, but he doesn't do it when it comes to it. So as I said, it's in many ways, it is the testing of your limits, testing of your sexuality. I found it was okay, but not what I expected to see. And I found it not fitting into the general storyline. I mean, we have two storylines, so it has to be put in there, I guess. And the one of the storylines is his relationship with Hanakawa. The other is his relationship with Kishot. So it makes sense. His relationship with Hanakawa had to have something like that in the past, or at least a moment, is there something more or not? So that's where it ended. Which makes it even weirder that in the series later on, it is playing after that here, that they never got together. And I'm not talking about having it done in the bedroom or stuff like that. I'm talking about being relationship or anything. So for Hanakawa, in many ways, that has to be a tough thing. I mean, she clearly offered more, and he kind of promised her more. And then when getting together with Senjugahara, he kind of did not fulfill this promise. So her moving out of the land and searching for Ishino and stuff like that might be partially even like running away from emotional problems there concerning him. Just saying. So that's the one thing, and I don't think I have to talk too much about that. It's just, you know. Then we have the second part, as I said, and that is him fighting with Kishot. So he kind of summoned her there, he asked her to be there, and they neither instantly started a fight. However, what she said is before, her wish is to live. No, her wish was that he gets back to her and lives beside her. In a weird way, she got that. I mean, in the end, Aragi asks for a solution where everyone is happy. And kind of, he has. He does not have to kill anyone, no one has to die. And she is living by his side. It's the other way around. He's living by her side and she's living by his, because they need to now, due to the solution that Oshino Meme came up with. So, in a weird way, Oshino gave them what they wanted. Everyone is happy, but everyone is unhappy at the same time. So there is no perfect solution. They have a lot of fighting there, a lot of gore, a lot of flying heads and other stuff. So it's kind of clear that by normal means they possibly cannot kill each other, at least not easily. It will always grow back, as long as they have blood. And although it seemed to the end of the fight like Aragi was about to lose, seeing from what has regrown already before, it is very unlikely that it is an easy kill there. So her summoning fire might have been an option, like, you know, the idea of burning someone, the sun burning the vampire might be like the ultimate weapon against vampires. Might be. They had some interaction. They talked a bit about, you know, that you lose your humanity while you feast on humans. It makes sense. The more negative, evil, whatever you want to call it, stuff you do, the more you're likely to lose humanity, more and more of it. It is the thing that, well, you could say it for many, many things, you know. The first time you lie, you just feel awful, and you're sure you will get caught, and you just feel like a bad person. And then when you do it more and more and more, it tends to become something normal, lying, and you always have an explanation for it, you know. It is better for them, it is better for me, it makes things easier, telling the truth would hurt the other one, stuff like that. Same you can say for eating humans here in this case, or for using a gun, for whatever kind of violence, you know. I'm not saying any of that is good at all. I guess violence is always a bad thing, but there happen to be in life a lot of occasions where we, without doing it physically, we tend to be violent towards others, just by saying stuff or not saying stuff. You know what I mean? If you're like in with people and they kind of ask for your help and you just go by because you're, I don't know, you don't have the money, you're not willing to help at this time. The other person, you think he or she might use, if you give money, use it for drugs or for whatever kind of things. You are too busy, you don't realize it at this moment. It doesn't matter. In this moment, without doing physical anything, you already were kind of violent to the other one. You hurt someone. And that is stuff you always do in your life. We will always do. You know, I did, for sure. So, and you tend, the more you do it, the more it gets normal for you. So that's what she's talking about. Shinumeme later on explains it as well. In kind of a way, she is like a cat. She's a cat that catches the mouse and eats the mouse. That's normal, you know, it's nature. The vampire is the cat, and we are the mouse. So, is the vampire evil by means? Sure, for us, the vampire is evil because it eats us. So we say that's evil. But we wouldn't say a cat is evil just because it hunts mouse. A mice, it is in multiple ones. So it's a matter of perspective again. Here I see, however, that he is trying to stop her because he is, or feels himself as a human. Everyone he likes and loves is human, so he has to protect his race in this case. Still doesn't change the issue that she just did what vampires do. Fighting. At the end of the fight, once again, as in every other of the other two movies before, it is Hanekawa who brings up a solution. She's not able to tell it. She was not able to blurt it out. She was stopped by Kissshot before doing so because Kissshot is clearly aware of the fact that Hanekawa figured it out. So she threatens to kill her. And in the end, the thing is, Kissshot wants to die. The interesting question here is why. So Kissshot kind of grew tired from living. She even said that before, that most vampires don't go above 200 because they grow tired of their life. So it happened to her as well. It took longer. She's way more powerful, but it doesn't change the fact that she is thinking about dying, and she was where she was lying around because she wanted to die. And in a strange kind of way, she now wants it to be with a purpose. Which I can understand. If you can choose when and how you die, every one of us possibly would like our death to have kind of a purpose, to do something good, you know, while leaving, still do something good. It is this feeling of having lived a fulfilled life, and I think that's what it is for her as well. She is clearly sad, to put it mildly, about the fact that she could not give her first kid, the first servant, his wish that he wanted to become human again, or he kind of wanted to die then. She did not grant that to him. She was not able to, she said. I mean, that's quite a while ago. So she was not who she is now. She was not that matured, she was not that experienced, not that tired of life as well. And then there's Aragi, who, strangely enough, helps her, that she never ever had before in her life. Someone helping her without negative emotions, without, I won't say that, but just helping for herself, you know? He has his very own reasons, as we know, but he helped her, and now she's like, I will pay that back. I can save you if I die. If you kill me, you can become a human again. I will die for you. One could question if it's kind of like a last gesture which puts her into positive karma or stuff like that. There's a lot of it in there, I guess. So she put up this fight and wanted to lose the fight on purpose so that he kills her and gets human again. That's the only way to become human again. So that's why she needed her limbs back, because only if she's complete, she can do that. And that's a major thing, the negative, the dark and sinister appearance that she had when she was complete back on the I'm a vampire, I'm negative, you know, this thing was a part, at least partially, a part of a play to make him more likable to kill her. If she would have been nice and friendly, it would have been way more complicated for him to kill her, maybe even impossible, because he's a good guy. And if you like someone, it's not so easy to kill that someone, you know. So that's why she tried to act mean and unfair. Once this was revealed by Hanekawa, she didn't deny it, but she went for the next step. So I will force you. And being who she is, it might be very likely she really would have done it. So she would have killed Hanekawa first, and then 1,000 people each day. So he was kind of in the corner there. I did not see any option either. And so Oshino Meme appears. Warning, a wild Oshino appears. After being called out for sure. So that's nice. Aragi is aware that he is around. The one thing I always said, where is he? He is around. He is watching. So seeing that in this stadium, I really have to question all through the series if Oshino was really gone. Or if he's like somewhere around, still watching everything. It might very well be. So when he comes up with this solution of reducing his shot to the Shinobu version that we know, the very small girl who is so weakened and out of vampiric powers that she's not able to really be a danger for humanity, which I think already changed in the time of the series. I mean, she drew empty, at least partially, multiple apparitions, so she has some kind of powers again. But while doing so, Aragi is nearly completely back to being human, so close to human because he has like most of his blood back. But by being so, it is his responsibility now. As long as he is there, she drinks from him. She can only drink from him, and he has to be around, or she, will possibly die. As we know from one of the episodes in the past of one of the story arcs, when he would die, she would go crazy. She would regrow. Possibly because when he dies, she gets some kinds of powers back, I guess. There is like a link now between them. And she would destroy the world. I mean, makes sense. It's a very, very weird relationship those two have. This master and servant relationship. And once again, it was in discussion here. So, she was the master. He was the servant. She created him. He drained her nearly empty. Now he is kind of the master. He has more control. He had the option to kill her, and he chose to do something else instead, which she didn't like. So he had the power and partially still has it. So that relationship changed, and Oshino Meme stated that as well. You kind of became the master and she's the servant now. But the who is this discussion which we had in the series already very often. And now it makes way more sense than before to me. This weird, I saved you, you saved me, I want to die for you, but no, you want to die for me. And now they're in this very own story of scars, as they say here. Where if one of them would die, the other would be willing to die as well in this moment together, you know? But if you, the other one, whoever it is, would live on, I would live another day as well. So this kind of weird friendship, love story that they walk into the future kind of hand in hand, partially forced but partially willing, is a weird thing. And I think it's a beautiful thing, because Kishot was willing to die as many vampires because, you know, life was over. There was nothing new, nothing interesting, nothing important. As a vampire, you die of boredom. There, everything tastes the same. There is nothing interesting anymore. Now there is. Due to Aragi, there is something new. There's something interesting. You can see the world kind of from his eyes again, and you can learn about donuts as we. So, very interesting concept. I like it. Very nicely done. Was a good, really good movie. A very nice storyline. I have something else I saw, and I want to check if I can find it for you. 1 second. I guess it has not. There it is. Crap. Come on, back in. I will get this picture. There it is. I mean, it possibly has to mean nothing. But while I was watching, I was seeing this and I was like, what? What is Oogie doing there? I mean, there's always this thing with her and her hands in the long sleeves. So I was thinking for a second, like, is he creating Oogie there somehow in a weird way? I guess not. But just saying, she's still on my mind, as you all know. So I had that scene as well. I liked it. The outro, we had. Oh yeah, there's one more thing before the outro. When Oshino Meme appeared on the scene, he said to Hanekawa, "This is our first meeting, right?" That's a weird statement, to say the least. I mean, as very often, you can interpret stuff in any ways. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. Because if you say something like that, it feels to me a little bit like, hey Hanekawa, just so that you're aware, we don't know each other. You know the thing we did in the past? Don't tell him. Because this is our first meeting, right? Uh-huh, yeah it is. Felt like that to me. Might be wrong, but it felt like that. I think that's it. Yeah. The outro, as I already mentioned during the outro itself, two female singers singing, and then in the end they sang it together. It is a song about love for eternity, very fitting for vampires. The two female voices, a younger and a little bit older one, is fitting as well, seeing that we have a young version of Kiss Shot and an older version of Kiss Shot. So both of them kind of love Aragi. It was very interesting to see that she feels well, kind of solitude, that she felt sorry what happened to her first servant so strongly. I mean, there was not a... Those were strong images with her and the armor-clad guy. That she, like, exploded, lost her limbs when he walked through her and stuff like that. So she really, in the back view, would have wanted to help him. Would have wanted this to end. And that is very good fitting into the storyline, which we have already seen with him, where she comes back and rescues him by killing him, ending his life as he wanted. So, it very much fits in many ways. There are a lot of differences in the movies towards the series, as I have pointed out already in the past, in the other comments of mine. But all in all, I like it. Those were interesting movies. They shine kind of the same light, but different on the characters. They still leave me a lot of questions about Oshinomeme and his reasons, why he is there. And his offer, if Aragi would ever consider to change his opinion about Kiss Shot and how they are with each other now, he just has to call. So there is the always existing option to change that relationship. I have a lot of questions which I cannot really put into words about Hanekawa. And if there is anything in the past with her and Oshinomeme which we don't know about. Well, of Hanekawa's, how to say, feelings toward what's going on with her, Aragi, Senjugahara, and so on and so forth. It makes more sense now that many people of you commented in the past that they see Aragi more with Hanekawa. Now after those movies, yes, I can understand that. There is a clear pointers that those two would have had a good option as well. Still sorry, my favorite episode is still the one with Senjugahara and Aragi, as you know. So, good movies. I like that. That's it from me this time. I hope you like that as well. So, until the next time, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye.